Hi.
Lavanya submitted a couple questions, so I want to take those first, but I want to catch up with everybody too and see if there's any other questions. So Lavanya, do you want to just start by asking one of your questions?
I remember one of them is, what's the difference between follow and don't follow?
So talking about link building, there are two different kinds of links, the follow link and the no follow link. That's what you want to ask about.
Right.
Okay, great question. So we know that for SEO, one of the most important things as far as how Google decides to serve up your site is links from other websites to your site, right? And we've used the analogy that it's kind of like a room full of plumbers. And we know there's a room full of plumbers because every plumber has plumber on their hat and plumber on their shirt, and on their truck it says plumber. But we don't know who's the best plumber. We just know there's a lot of plumbers. Well, link building, okay, so we know if in that scenario, we knew in that room, just because you have the more instances of the word plumber on your body doesn't make you the best plumber. What makes someone in that room the best plumber? The plumber who everyone points to and says, that guy there, that person is the best plumber. The same thing's true about links. What makes the best website of all the websites available for any given keyword? Is it the website that mentions that keyword, that web page that mentions that keyword more than anybody else? No, it's the web page that receives more links from the other websites. That's how Google knows the most credible website. Now, once you figure that out, it's really tempting to abuse that, because we've all gotten emails where it's like, hey, give me $5 and they'll give you 100 links to your website or something stupid like that, right? And so Google has had to crack down on bad links. And one of the ways they crack down on bad links is allowing webmasters or web coders or developers to add a code within a link that says no follow in the link. And so when Google sees a link that has the rel attribute of no follow, and maybe we'll look at an example, what we see is Google will say, I'm not going to use that link to give the website that receives that link credit from an SEO perspective. So for instance, if you have a WordPress website and you have comments enabled on your blog posts, you'll notice that there's a field when someone makes a comment that they can put their website in your comment to your blog, right? Well, if you wanted to build links to your site, you could go out and you could write a bunch of comments on other websites and put your website link in there, and all those websites would then link to you, right? This is why we have automated systems. We get all kinds of crappy comments in our WordPress blogs all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because systems are automatically generating this. Well, should those links count for credibility? If I go to your website and log in and submit a comment and then link back to my website, is that your website voting for credibility of my website? No, that's me voting for the credibility of my website using your website. So WordPress does by default is adds this no follow attribute in the link. And that tells Google, hey, we know there's a link from our website to another website, but we don't want you to count it for credit.
Oh.
Okay. So there's all kinds of places where one link from one website to another has the rel no follow link attribute. Most social media posts have the rel no follow link. So that means by posting on Facebook, if Google is able to read Facebook, and sometimes it can't even read Facebook, Google sees the link from your Facebook page to your page. Should that be counting for SEO? Well, not really, because you posted on Facebook. It's not Facebook saying your website's great. It's you saying your website's great on Facebook. And so Facebook adds the nofollow attribute to the link, so Google knows not to count that link for SEO purposes. Now, can people follow the nofollow link? Absolutely. And so great. Now people can come from Facebook to your page. It's still valuable to post on Facebook, but it's not an SEO factor because of the nofollow link. As you go through different websites linking to your site, you can look to see if it's a nofollow or not. So we've talked about link citations or citation websites for local listings lately.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, Yelp or Super Pages or Yahoo Pages. If you inspect those links, most of them have the rel nofollow attribute. It doesn't mean it's not a useful link. It's a lot of use in that link. A lot of people use Yelp, and if you're on Yelp, a lot of people can find your site. But Google won't use that rel nofollow attribute. So it will read that and say, I'm not going to give SEO credit for this link from Yelp to your website. So that is what the nofollow attribute is about. So let me show you an example of this by sharing my screen. Okay, so here we are. So if I go to, let's go to, let's just look up Reliable Acorn, the main company on Yelp. All right, Yelp, Reliable Acorn. Hey, there's a link to my website. That's awesome. Now we can do a couple things. What we probably need to do is we can inspect this link, and it'll show us in the code as it loads up. There it is. Okay. So you see if you know any HTML, the A is is used as a link, and it links to the href. In this case, it's not even a link to my website. It's going through some sort of redirect, because you'll notice it goes to their own website URL. But even if it didn't have a redirect, you see this rel equals no opener, no follow. This word no follow is what's important for that link. So that means Google won't count this link to my website. So that is what the no follow means and why it's important. Clear as mud?
Always.
Does that answer the question, Lavanya?
Yes, but with the no follow, like if I were to go to your website, would link to your website, but you would have to put no follow on your website in order for it not to count.
Right,
Okay.
right. Some content management systems like WordPress comments will do it automatically for you, but it's usually something you have to add in a website.
Okay.
Okay, great question. I'm glad you asked.